Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
I cannot complain. Happy MLK Jr. Day.
Same to you and everyone.
Everyone, yes. Afternoon, Miss Lake. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hey, Ms. Lake. Hey, doing tomorrow.
Afternoon.
Front row. Front row.
Hi.
Let's see. Looks like the reset date for the state all-purpose calendar is going to be February 1st. So if you'll make note of that. Thank you, Ms. Middlebrooks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Judge. I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. So is anyone going to join us? Anyone else going to join us? Let's Ms. Jenks.
I just want, not that I'm aware of, but I just wanted to make one announcement that I have not spoken to Ms. Perez yet. I was waiting to hop on with Marcelo. So we'll just need a breakout room whenever your honor wishes.
All right. Looks like court. Let's find out what position is that, Ms. Jenks?
He's position 13.
13.
Oh, okay. So you all,
Yeah, 13.
you all are aware that Ms. Jenks needs a breakout room with the interpreter.
Yes, she's over at South NX and she'll be on shortly.
Okay. All right. So as soon as they get on, we will I'll put you on, Ms. Jenks.
Okay,
Afternoon,
thank you.
Marcella.
I'm doing well. How are you, Your Honor?
Good, good. Hope you're having a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I said there are two interpreter cases, right? I have Miguel Fernandez and Juana Perez is what I was.
Miguel Fernandez is still medical reset.
Okay, so you don't need me for him?
No.
And you have Perez. Okay.
McGregor, do we have any other medical resets today?
Yes, Kyle Howard, he's a medical reset. And,
Al Howard, position number 5 is a medical reset. Okay.
and position 16, medical reset.
Position 16, Mr. or Haley Thomas is a medical reset.
I was also told position 2, Miguel Fernandez was a medical reset.
Right. So we're going to all those medical resets. We'll just reset for tomorrow and see if they're available then. Okay.
Oh, and Haley, oh yeah, you got Haley Thomas.
Right. Afternoon, Ms. Falk. How are you?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well also. All right, so if we're all ready, I think hopefully everyone got those medical resets. Who do we have courtroom to?
Position 7, Ms. Jones.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jones. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000130Y with theft by shoplifting. Afternoon, Mr. Howard. How are you today?
I'm sorry?
1 second, Ms. Jones. Mr. Howard, are you there?
I'm handling her case, Judge. Erica Jones.
No, I wanted to go to pretrial first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you were talking about Derek. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I had to grab the file. 19 total. Last arrest was in November. Possession of meth with intent. That's open in Cobb. Also, an open case for unlawful for jail inmate to possess any controlled substance, gun, or dangerous weapon. She had a 2015 conviction for meth, 2011 meth conviction, 2010 theft by shoplifting, and a 2009 shoplifting. FTA from 2010, 2014. Probation violation from 2015, 2011, 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007.
Those theft by shoplifting, is it indicated their conviction or not?
Hold on. I got one from 2010. That's
Right.
a conviction.
Okay.
Hold on. first one from 2006. So that's two. (2010) conviction. So that's all.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Webb. How are you?
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing well. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay.
And just to clarify, there was 2 arrests in 2006 for shoplifting. One did end in a conviction, but the other was a statute of limitations expired. Your Honor, this case arises from a incident that took place at the Best Buy at North Point Mall. That address is 975 North Point Drive on December 31st of 2021. Alpharetta police did respond to a shoplifting in progress call. And upon arrival, they were met with Mr. Bolwell, that is Bolwell, who informed the responding officer that the defendant was shoplifting and that he witnessed her select a mouse from the Apple section of the store and then proceeded to walk around for a while before she walked out the store without paying for that mouse. He also informed the officer that the day prior that they witnessed a woman in a parking lot looking into cars that was parked on the premises. The store did contact the police, but the woman was not on the scenes at the time. But the store identified the woman as Miss Jones, Your Honor. The responding officer did compare Mrs. Jones' photo ID with the camera footage and also made a positive or reassuring identity to the defendant. Your Honor, in this case, we are making a recommendation for a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location at 975 North Point Drive, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, as pretrial stated, we are concerned with a risk of reoffending as she does have those 2 previous shoplifting convictions, Your Honor. In addition to, she has several probation violations since 2006, and she also FTA'd out of Woodstock in 2010 and 2014. So we do believe that she is a possible flight risk.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Lake, is this your case?
It's actually my case, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Judge. We're asking you to consider a significantly lower bond, and frankly, any bonds is tantamount to no bonds with the financial status for Miss Jones. She is a resident of Atlanta. She lives in Kennesaw. She stated to me that she is self-employed as a dog groomer. She's got several clients that she, takes care of their pets. She finished high school with a GED and went to tech school for that dog grooming certificate. So we're asking you to consider, a $500 or $1,000 bond if you're inclined to give her a good bond versus a signature bond.
Anything further, Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is wholly opposed to a signature bond in this case, considering that she was cited on the premises just the day before, possibly attempted to break into cars on the premises, Your Honor. So we do believe that considering her criminal history, that it does warrant a surety bond.
And Judge, just briefly, if I can respond to Ms. Webb's argument.
Go ahead.
Judge, we're going to ask you to completely disregard the last part of what Ms. Webb proffered to Your Honor. There's no crime charge related to this allegation of looking into cars in the parking lot at Best Buy the day before. And frankly, I think there's an ID issue that may be salient in this case when it moves forward and comes to trial. So, again, we're going to ask you to disregard that part of what the state is saying, since there's no basis for it right now.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Jones, I see you there with your hand up. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm sure that your lawyer would advise you not to speak and let me make my ruling. Is that right, Ms. James?
Yes, Ms. Jones, please don't speak and state anything about the case.
I'm not going to speak about the case. Sir, when I was there the day before.
Ms. Jones, please don't talk about anything related to the case.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Jones. Hold on. You're not doing yourself any favors, although you might think you are. If you can unmute again for me, courtroom 2. Ms. Jones, I am reticent to keep you in jail given the state of the jail and the allegations that you stole a mouse. Okay, so I am going to allow you to have a signature bond, a $3,000 signature bond. But you're gonna have to make sure that you come back to court. Do you understand?
You got a 3,000, he wants to give you a $3,000 signature bond.
I don't understand. Am I gonna have to pay money for a signature bond?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, hold on. I'm not done yet. So listen to me.
All
All right, you can't go back to that Best Buy, okay? You know where that is? At 975 North Point Drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you cannot go back there, and you cannot have any drugs, alcohol, or weapons while you're out on bond.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you violate any of these conditions, or if you don't show back up, you're gonna be right back where you are. You understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Jones. Anything further, Ms. James, Ms. Webb?
No, thank you, Judge.
Is that through pretrial or the jail, Your Honor?
That's gonna be through the jail. Thank you. Ms.
Thank
Webb.
you.
Thank you. Sorry, did I get out today?
Yes, ma'am. Ezel. Sit down, be quiet. I need you to be quiet, though. Ezel. We starting at the top, Judge, position 1.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Zell. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Good evening to you as well.
Thank you. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I agree.
Thank you. Mr. Zell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000-216A with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good to see you.
You also.
Your Honor, in this case, the state is requesting a $6,000 surety bond, $3,500 for count 1 for the battery family violence, and a $2,500 for the count 2 for the simple battery family violence. We're also requesting that there be no further contact with Miss Andrea Ezel, last name spelled Ezell, and Miss Cynthia Ezel, and that there be a stay away from the 325 Abbott Berry Lane, Abbott Berry spelled ABBOTBURY, in Johns Creek, a 1-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor. So here in this case, this incident took place on January 16th at that Abbott Berry location. Miss Cynthia Ezel said that she and her husband, the defendant, were having an argument at the breakfast table, and to get some space and to try and de-escalate the situation, she moved across the room to the kitchen sink, where the defendant then followed her and proceeded to grab her by her neck and pin her against the counter. Miss Cynthia Ezel says she tried to get a knife to defend herself, but in reaching for it, the defendant threw her down to the floor. Fortunately, she was able to get away and run upstairs. However, Your Honor, this is not where it ended. Sometime after, the defendant went upstairs to the room that Miss Cynthia Ezel was in, as well as their daughter, Miss Andrea Ezel. And when the defendant entered the room, he began to argue with their daughter, telling her that she needed to get off of the bed. And when she did not comply with his request, he hit her with a belt, leaving marks on her leg, Your Honor. So we are aware that the defendant does not have any history, Your Honor. But based on the facts of this case, where he grabbed his wife by the neck and then proceeded to beat his daughter with a belt, we do believe that Your Honor might be inclined to set that bond at the $6,000 surety as requested. And also, we are asking that there be no further contact. From what I could see, we did not have the correct information to reach out to Ms. Ezel. But it has been less than 48 hours for the defendant to cool off. So we are asking that there no contact be put in place, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Lake?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sure I don't have to point out to everybody that these are allegations. My client has no history. I would also point out that Andrea Ezel is actually 27 years old. She is grown. My client understands that he's probably going to be told to stay away from the incident location and no further contact, and he's fine with that. We're asking for a signature bond. He is employed doing real estate and as a truck driver. He has one minor child, age 15, and he does own his own home in Johns Creek. We are asking for a signature bond, and I would note he does not qualify for our services after today.
So that 325 Abbott Bury Lane, he has somewhere else to go besides that address?
Yes, Your
Is that
Honor.
correct?
Yes, we've spoken about that.
All right, very good. Ms. Arnold, anything further?
Yes, Your Honor, if I could just add, although his daughter is not a minor, she's 23, he still did hit her with the belt and left marks on her. So I just want to point that out to the court.
Yes, I understand. Thank you, Ms. Arnold. For the battery family violence, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the simple battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness class. No further contact at this time with Andrea Ezel or Cynthia Ezel. Stay away from the 325 Abbotsbury Lane address in Johns Creek. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, Mr. Ezel, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Donna,
you.
may I say, ask you? a
No,
Well, hold on.
You have a right to remain silent, Mr. Ezel. Anything you say can be used against you. And a lot of times people think that what they want to say might be helpful to them, but I've given you a signature bond in this case, and you'll be able to come back and fight these charges at a later date, okay?
question? No clothes.
Okay, okay, you're right. You can go back to that residence on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you may have there, okay? But you'll have to go back with law enforcement, all right?
Go to Johns Creek Police and ask them to escort me.
Yes, you can.
Very good. Thank
All
you.
right, good luck to you, Mr. Zell.
Thank you, sir.
Position 3, Fortner.
Is 2 still reset? I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes, position 2 is a medical reset for tomorrow.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fortin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. You have been charged in case 22 CR 00217 with certain acts on a bus, rail, or station that's prohibited, and 2 counts of obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. History out of DC, Texas, and Louisiana. Last arrest was back in September. He was here for obstruction, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass. I'm not sure what happened with that case. Got a 2012 simple assault out of DC, possession of a dangerous weapon. 2020 arrest in Texas. It says liquor violation, 2 counts. And in Louisiana, I got a 2018 bench warrant. 2016 operating a vehicle while intoxicated. That's it. I think the case here is open though, the one from September. Yeah, it is. 21 CP 202860 is the case number.
And do you know, when you say here that, do you know did he get pretrial for that?
I'm looking at. Yeah, he did in Superior Court.
Okay,
He had to bond out on the felony obstruction, but he got a UJR for the trespass and the disorderly conduct.
okay, thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state is requesting a $4,500 surety bond. That is the current bond, and we're asking that it remain. It's $1,500 for count 1 for certain acts on the bus, rail, or station. $1,500 for count 2 for obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and $1,500 for count 3 for obstruction of a law enforcement officer. We're asking that there also be a stay away from the 30 Alabama Street Southwest, which I believe is the 5 Points MARTA station. No further contact with Officer Moore or Officer Point de Jour, spelled POINTDEJOUR, and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on January 15th at that 5 Points MARTA station. The defendant interfered with the rail operator by banging on the operator cab door. When officers Moore and Point de Jure went to arrest the defendant, he pulled away from both of them. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he does have that open case that pretrial has mentioned for the willful obstruction of law enforcement by use of threats or violence, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. He was just released on December 24th of 2021, Your Honor, on that felony obstruction charge. And we're back here again today for 2 more counts of obstruction against an officer. So because of that, Your Honor, we would ask that the bond remain at that $4,500 surety with the conditions as stated.
Thank you. Ms. Lake?
Your Honor, we're asking for a signature bond. My client has a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism. He is working part-time and has interviews coming up this week. He's just gotten a place to rent. I didn't hear that there was any violence here. And he tells me all he did was just knock on the door to speak to the conductor about, or the operator about something. So we are asking for a signature bond.
Anything further you can tell me about the incident, Ms. Arnold? Anything else that you have there?
We just had the warrant, Your Honor, so that's kind of the extent of what I have.
All right.
Yep.
Does he already have a stay away in place from MARTA, Ms. Arnold?
That I'm not sure about, Your Honor. If it's an active stay away in place, I'm not sure.
Does he need to take MARTA to get to work, Ms. Lake? Is there any reason that he needs to be on MARTA?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So on each count, it's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. So it's going to be a total of a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from MARTA. No further contact with the 2 officers that were involved. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Fortner, I'm going to let you out, but you're going to have to make sure that you returned for your court date. And if you don't return, they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. And do you know our court? How
No, you have no other holds.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
And you'll get notice of your next court date, Mr. Fortner.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 4, Heath.
Good afternoon, Mr. Heath. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Mr. Heath, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000218C with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children, 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, I'm putting the last arrest in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa, you got a bond assessment?
No.
I'll put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
All right, this is 8th arrest. Last was 2018 for the charge out of Clayton County. Player Nolo. 2015 for probation violation. Possession of marijuana was the underlying charge. 2015 theft by deception and forgery in the 4th. That was dismissed. Another 2015 probation violation for marijuana possession. Came off a 2014 arrest. 2012 armed robbery and burglary. Those were dismissed.
Thank you.
I defer to you with the, hold on, he got a 2011 arrest in Florida for disorderly conduct, intoxication. That was dismissed. Yeah, I defer to you on the, the bond.
All right.
He wasn't on the list because of the 2018. I didn't know how you want to do that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state is requesting a $3,000 surety for count 1 for battery family violence and a $2,000 surety for count 2 for cruelty to children in the 3rd degree for a total of a $5,000 surety bond. We're asking that there be a stay away from the 2900 Camp Creek Parkway, apartment A10, that there be no further contact with Shonteria Burnett, Shonteria spelled Shonteria, Burnett spelled traditionally, and the minor child with the initials J, last name B -H, that there be a 1-day anger awareness course and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on July 18th, 2021 at that Camp Creek Parkway location. Ms. Burnett said that she and the defendant were having a dispute and he became quite aggressive and started walking towards her in an aggressive manner, which prompted her to grab her stun gun and advise that he not come any further and not hit her. However, this did not stop the defendant from continuing to get in Ms. Burnett's face aggressively. So Ms. Burnett pushed him away and told him that he needed to back away. The defendant and Ms. Burnett had a tussle and the defendant pushed Ms. Burnett onto the floor. When she tried to stand up, the defendant punched her in the face, leaving her with a deep laceration on her lip, after which the defendant left. Ms. Burnett and a witness by the name of Marcus Porter stated that all of this was done in front of Ms. Burnett's 5-year-old son. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant is violent and he has that violent arrest for the armed robbery from 2012 and burglary, and also the conviction from 2018, which Your Honor is aware of. And based on the facts of this case where he punched Ms. Burnett, leaving a deep laceration on her lip in front of her 5-year-old son, we are requesting that the bond be set at the $5,000 surety with the conditions as stated.
Have you spoken with Ms. Barnett, Ms. Arnold?
Your Honor, we had a lot of missing contact information, so we have not been able to get a hold of her.
Okay.
I do have a phone number for her if you'd like it.
That would be great. If you could put it in the chat, Ms. Lake, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
And did she actually use the stun gun on him, Ms. Arnold? Does it say?
The warrant does not say that she did. It said that she just used it to I try to scare him out of coming closer to her, but it does not say she used it on him.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lake?
Your Honor, hold on, let's see. Oops. I never know what I'm doing with this. Can you still see me?
I can see you.
Okay. I was just trying to send that in the chat and something happened. Yes. My client does deny these allegations. He said that in fact, Miss Burnett is not the one who reported this to the police in July. It was her mother with whom they have been living. My client is working. He has some college and he's working on a degree in computer animation. He is working at the Family Dollar. He and the alleged victim have been together since this time, which is basically 6 months. And he does have a place to stay. He can stay with his sister, who has recently had 2 strokes and needs a caregiver. So he's quite certain he can go stay with her. So we are asking for a signature bond, but he understands if Your Honor does not want to allow him to go back to the apartment. It's actually her mother's apartment, so he's fine with staying away.
Is the child his child?
It is not. The parties are planning on getting married and he does have a child on the way.
Okay, when is that child due? Do you know?
I don't.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Arnold?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, so at this time, it's gonna be for the battery, family violence, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the cruelty, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Ms. Burnett or the minor child. Stay away from the 2900 Camp Creek Parkway address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Lake, if Ms. Arnold or yourself get in touch with Ms. Burnett and she wants something different, and especially since he has a child on the way and you don't know when that child is coming, I would hate for him not to be at the birth of his child, especially if she wants him around, given the fact that this goes back to July of last year, and given the fact that you've told me that they've been together without incident since that time. So if you'll have somebody follow up or you let him know that he needs to follow up on that, then this can be modified at some later date, okay?
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, the child is due in August. We found out the due date last week. It's going to be due in August.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Heath.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, what, were you gonna do the one-day anger awareness?
Yeah, you're right, Ms. Arnold. The one-day anger awareness also.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your
Thank
Honor,
you,
where
Your
do I
Honor.
go for that?
You'll go to pretrial, and pretrial will advise you of how you need to get that done, Mr. Heath, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Rose, this is Petition 14, Judge.
Lisa, you sent that number to me. You want me to
Oh,
put it in? the chat?
yes, sorry.
Who
Sorry.
needs the number?
The prosecutor.
Who was the prosecutor?
It was Ms.
That's
Arnold.
me.
All right,
need
I got you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and this is Mr. Rowe, is that correct?
Y'all gotta be quiet.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
good afternoon, Mr. Rowe. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000227Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Antonio Rowe, 13 total. Last arrest was back in July. Probation violation. Underlying charge was false imprisonment, battery. Before that was 2019 probation violation, same charge. 2017 battery. Subsequent conviction. 2013 probation violation. 2013 cruelty in the third. I'm sorry. Battery family violence conviction. 2007 stalking conviction. 2006 simple battery conviction. 2005 battery / simple battery family violence, cruelty in the first, 2 counts, those were convictions. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on January 15th at 1191 Oakland Lane, Apartment A, Atlanta, Georgia, around 1 a.m., Your Honor. Officers responded to a domestic dispute call where they were met with the 2 defendants. And for the record, Your Honor, this is a cross-defendant case with position number 10 as well. Mr. Moore informed, well, Ms. Rowe, excuse me, Your Honor, Ms. Moore informed the officer that Mr. Rowe had pushed and scratched her on the face. And she also informed the officer that Mr. Rowe had grabbed her by the neck and pushed her on the ground. The pair do reside together and have been living together for about a year. The state is recommending a $6,000 surety bond in this case, Your Honor. A stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Miss Felita Moore, that is Felita Moore, Moore, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, we are making this recommendation solely based on the extensive criminal history for battery, simple battery, and cruelty to children, and the stalking conviction, Your Honor, that the defendant has, along with those probation violations for the same charges, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Lake or Ms. Jenks?
Yes, it's my case, Judge. Thank you. Judge, we're asking you to consider a signature bond since this is a dual arrest. My understanding is that Mr. Rowe also suffered some injury from Miss Moore in similar fashion as to scratching and some other abrasions. He was living with Miss Moore at that 1191 Oakland Lane home, but he can live with his aunt who lives in East Point. He provided me that address. So he has no need to go back to that location. They had been living about 2 years together, and my understanding is they're engaged. However, there's no problem if Your Honor orders a stay away order from the location as well as a no further contact order.
All right. Well, given his history, it's going to be a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Valida Moore. Stay away from the 1191 Oakland Lane address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement officers if he needs to retrieve any belongings from that address. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Rowe.
Okay, Mr. Ice. Position 6.
Come on, bro.
Good afternoon, Mr. Isom. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, and good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Isom. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000219C with simple battery against a person who is 65 years or older or who was pregnant at the time of the offense, and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Position 6.
My bad, I thought I was on mute. Yeah, Barry Isom, first arrest. That's
Okay.
what I have.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I thought it was a different position, but yes, for Mr. Isom, we are requesting a $3,000 surety bond for count 1 for the simple battery against a person who is pregnant, and a $2,500 signature bond for count 2 for simple battery family violence, for a total of a $5,500 split bond. We're also asking that there be no further contact with Jada Nguyen, spelled Nguyen, and a stay away from the 6578 Beaver Creek Trail in Atlanta, and a 1-day anger awareness with no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on January 15th at that Beaver Creek location, and both parties were arrested. So Miss Nguyen, I think she is position 11. She is the other party to this case. Miss Nguyen in this case stated that she and the defendant were having a dispute regarding an Airbnb that they run together. And they were driving to check on this Airbnb and she wanted to return home. But somehow that turned into an argument. And during this dispute, the defendant struck Miss Nguyen in the head while she was 2 months pregnant, Your Honor. Miss Nguyen told the defendant to exit the vehicle and she'd have an Uber pick him up. However, he did exit, but he exited with the keys to the vehicle and left the vehicle in the middle of the road. So as the defendant was walking, Miss Nguyen had to follow, and the incident just continued to go on. So eventually Miss Nguyen called the police to assist. On the other side of that, Your Honor, the defendant has advised that Miss Nguyen was the aggressor and became hostile because she wanted to go home. And as a result, Miss Nguyen struck him in the face, leaving him with minor abrasions. The defendant does admit that he took the car keys. Since Miss Nguyen said that she would leave him, he said he did not believe she would call him an Uber. The defendant did say that Miss Nguyen was grabbing his arms and his hair and his possessions while they were walking away from the vehicle. The defendant in this case had footage which of the incident which he showed to officers. But what the officers noted on this footage was that he was holding a firearm at some point, Your Honor, that he threw in the bushes. The video also shows Ms. Nguyen holding a knife inside the vehicle. So because of these conflicting stories, and and officers not being able to determine who was the primary aggressor, they arrested both parties. Your Honor, so based on the facts of this case where the defendant hit Ms. Nguyen in the head while she was 2 months pregnant, and the fact that he had a gun at some point, we only have the warrant at this point, Your Honor. I have not been able to see the police report, but he did have a gun at some point during this altercation. We are requesting that $5,500 split bond with the conditions as stated.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Ms. Legg?
Yes, Your Honor. I would note this is my client's first arrest. I would also note that he will not qualify for our services after today. He has a college degree. He works for Delta Airlines and also owns a business producing music. He does own the home in question that he is running with his co-defendant as an Airbnb. She has her own home, so we're asking no stay away on that. Our understanding from her counsel who got in touch with Ms. Jenks is that she does want no further violent contact with her, and that's what we're asking for too. And so we're asking for a signature bond on this, Your Honor. Also, I would note he has 2 dogs locked in his garage since the 15th with no food and water, so I'm rather concerned about that.
Right. Is this going to be your case, Mr. Kelbaugh? Are you there?
Yes, Your Honor. This is my, I represent Ms. Nguyen.
Afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, I'm well.
Did you hear the representation that was made by Ms. Lake regarding contact?
Yes, Your Honor, and Ms. Nguyen would like to have contact with Mr. Isom.
Mr. Howard, does Ms. Nguyen have a history?
Yes. Let me get it. It's a 3rd arrest. History out of Nevada and Virginia. Last arrest was 2018, assault on a family member out of Virginia. That was dismissed. 2013, domestic battery out of Nevada. For the disposition, it just says denied. She has a, yeah, that's it for her.
All right. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Kelbaugh, I appreciate it. So it's going to be for the simple battery against a person pregnant at the time, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the simple battery family violence, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. A 1-day anger awareness class. No further violent contact with Jay to Win. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Isom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Before we go to the South Annex, I've been notified. I'm not sure I don't remember whose client it is. Mr. Rowe, position 14.
That was my client, Judge.
Is requesting to speak with me, but I guess he's really requesting to speak with you, Ms. Jenks.
Okay, I also was just notified that they can put me in a breakout room from Ms. Perez.
Yes, that's what we were just about to say. Put a
Okay.
Union City and Miss Jenkins.
So do you want to address Mr. Rowe, Ms. Jenks?
I can, but are you going to put me in a breakout room?
Oh, you want to be in a breakout room with?
Well, I'm not sure what he wants to say. As long as it's got nothing to do with the case, I'm fine speaking to him in open court, Judge.
Okay, is this Mr. Rowe?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you want to advise him, Ms. Jenks, regarding?
Yeah, sir, please don't talk about any kind of facts related to the case. Do you have a logistical question for me?
Yes, it's regarding my bond. I'm not able to make any bond. I'm not working at the moment because I'm in here. I had a job at DHL and I had an interview with Google, but apparently at the moment, I don't have any funds in my account. And honestly, no one I knows in my family can post a bond for me. Because before I got here, I even asked my family if they could help me with bus fare to get back and forth to work because I had started a new job. I got let down by everyone. I don't have the funds to make bail.
Well, sir, your case has been reset to February 1st. I will also reach out to your aunt, Miss Banner, who you gave me her name and number, and see if she can try to get together any kind of resources. I'll advise her of the situation, sir.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Rowe. I'll see you in 2 weeks if you don't get out.
In 2 weeks.
On the first.
All right.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jenks. Now, you want to go into a breakout room with the South Annex and Mr. And Marcelo, is that right?
I already put him in there, Judge.
Okay, great, thank you.
I jumped the gun, I guess.
No, no worries. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Good afternoon. Well, who do we have?
Position 9.
And this is your case, Ms. Lake?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Okay, good. Good afternoon, Mr. Marcus. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Marcus, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000230J with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got 5 total between Texas and North Carolina. Last arrest was in October in Charlotte. Assault on a female by male at least 18 years of age. Assault with a deadly weapon. 2019, domestic criminal trespass, interference with or prevent emergency communication equipment. Those were dismissed. 2015, arrest out of Texas. It looked like a driving offense. 2014, arrest in Texas. It says health and safety violation, class C. That's all. And it shows he's homeless.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This case arises out of an incident that took place on yesterday at 1005 Crestline Parkway. That is CRESTLINE Parkway, Sandy Springs, Georgia. Around 10:30 a.m., Your Honor, the Sandy Springs Police Department did respond to a dispute call, and they were met by Miss Abby George, that is ABBEY, George, common spelling, who informed the officers that the defendant had pinned her to a bed, laid on top of her with all of his weight, and slapped her with an open hand across of her face. Ms. George did sustain visible markings, Your Honor, including red marks on both of her cheeks and a 3 to 4 inch long red mark on her arm from when the defendant grabbed her by the arm as she attempted to get away from him. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Abby George, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness. We're making this recommendation largely because of the history out of Mecklenburg County for that assault on a female by a male at least 18 and assault with a deadly weapon, Your Honor. And we do not believe the defendant has shown insufficient ties with the Fulton County community, Your Honor. Majority of his history is based out of state, and he's a multi-state offender. And as pretrial has stated, he is residentially challenged.
Thank you, Ms. Lake.
Your Honor, actually, he isn't residentially challenged. He is employed at installing and deinstalling Christmas lights. He did give me the name of his employer. His employer is paying for hotels for him here in the Atlanta area. He's currently in college, getting a degree, working towards a degree. And I thought this sounded pretty interesting, drug product development. He does own a car. He has 1 child, age 6.5. He has lived here in Fulton County before. And as I said, I do have contact information for his boss. One thing we're concerned about is that Miss George has my client's service animal with her. He does have that for PTSD and anxiety. So we are asking that he be considered for a signature bond. He does have a place to go.
Who is Miss George to Mr. Marcus?
She's his girlfriend.
Okay.
But he
And
understands about no further contact.
is he just working here at this time from somewhere else, or is he living here?
He's working here and his boss is paying for hotels, but he is planning on staying here from what he told me.
And he's here from where, Texas or North Carolina?
I think most recently Alabama, I believe is what he told me.
And where is he in college?
I believe it's online. I didn't ask, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Aside from the service dog, does he have anything else he needs to get from the Crestline Parkway apartment?
He has clothing and personal items, Your Honor, and I believe his car is there as well.
Has anyone spoken with Miss George?
Our office has attempted to make contact, Your Honor, and we were unsuccessful in that attempt.
All right, anything further?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Abby George. Stay away from the 1005 Crestline Parkway, Sandy Springs address. He can go back to that address on one occasion to retrieve any belongings, his car, his service dog that he may have there. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Marcus.
Your Honor, did you want him to take law enforcement with him?
Yes, one-time escort with law enforcement. Okay, so you're going to be able to go back and get your things, Mr. Marcus, but you're going to have to go with law enforcement, and you're going to have to show back up for your next court date. If you don't show back up, they're going to put a warrant out for you, and it's less likely that you're going to get out next time. You understand?
Completely understand, Your Honor. I will be there.
All right, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Marcus.
How much was that?
$3,000 signature bond through the jail, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, if I did not say that.
And Your Honor, did you say the 1-day anger awareness? It cut out for a little bit.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I'm not going to require him to do that.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 12, Paige.
Good afternoon, Mr. Page. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Page, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000220G with simple battery family violence. Your history, Mr. Howard?
It's his third. 2015 suspended license. 2011 carrying weapon without a valid license.
Afternoon, Ms. Mitchell. Hope you're well.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, so in this case, this is a cross warrant with position 17, defendant Sierra Wright, case number 22 CR 0002224A. And in this case, officers responded to incident location and met with Sierra Wright, spelled CIERRA, Wright, common spelling, the other person living in the same household as defendant and the other parent to the same children. Ms. Wright stated that during a verbal argument, defendant struck her in the face and poured water on her head, soaking her clothes. The defendant admitted to the officer that he struck Ms. Wright in the face with an open hand and poured water onto her head. Your Honor, the state's bond recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the other defendant, Sierra Wright, third-party contact with their children, stay away from incident location 2741 Headland Drive, East Point, Georgia, a 1-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. We are gonna ask clarification as to the incident location based on the facts that we have. We're not sure whose home that is. So depending on that, might change the stay away request.
It is my client's home. It was a family home. His grandfather gave it to him.
Okay, okay.
Anything further, Ms. Mitchell?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lake?
Your Honor, we are asking for a signature bond. My client has completed 12th grade. He is a lifelong Atlanta area resident. He is the manager of a Pizza Hut. He has 6 children who he's supporting. He did allow Miss Wright to move back in with him with their children. He claims the whole incident was self-defense on his part. We would probably ask that you consider no further violent contact, but I would again note that it is his home and it's only his 3rd arrest and there was no violence.
How many children does he have with Ms. Wright?
He'd be better at answering that. I know at least one.
My
Okay,
stepdaughter and my son.
okay, and does he want contact, Ms. Lake?
Well, I always think no further violent contact is better, but I think in some ways he would prefer no contact.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't want any contact, then I'm gonna order no contact. But I see that Mr. Kelbaugh, what does your client want? I take it that you represent Ms. Wright.
I do represent Miss Wright. The issue is that she's not able to afford to live anywhere else at the moment. She wants to move out. She has tried to move out before, but has been financially unable to support herself. And that her 2 children, my understanding is that she has 2 children, an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they share the 2-year-old. She is fine with either no contact or no violent contact.
But where's she gonna go? I mean, does she have a place to go?
She would like no violent contact because she would like to stay at the home until she finds a place to live.
All right, and Ms. Lake, what does Mr. Page want? Does he want no contact with her?
I think he would prefer that. He understands he may have to move out of the house for a while if that's the case, but he would like her to get out sooner rather than later.
Okay, well, I know you can, do you have somewhere to go in the meantime, Mr. Page?
Yes, sir. I have numerous places I can go. And for the sake of my 2-year-old does have sickle cell. That's the whole reason she's back at the location now. I will go somewhere else. Just as long as she doesn't destroy my grandparents' house more than what she's already tried to do, she can stay there until she can find somewhere to go.
Okay, so you can find a place to go in the meantime until she finds her own place. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir. I just need to go back and get some of my clothes and stuff, and I can have my cousins check on the house and everything while I'm away.
All right, I'm gonna allow you to do that. So it's gonna be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, a 1-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Sierra Wright. You can have contact with your children if she has the children, but it will have to be a 3rd party contact, okay?
That's fine.
And while Ms. Wright is at the 2741 Headland Drive address, you can't be there. You can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you may have. And once she vacates that premises, then of course you'll be allowed to go back there. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while out on bond. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Page.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
We have position 18 and 19, that he's Ms. Jinks' client.
I'm sorry, what I didn't catch that last part.
He's Ms. Jinks' client.
Oh, he's
18 and 19.
And is that the last person left in courtroom 2?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge.
All right, so we'll have to hold for Ms. Jinks. And since she is in the breakout room with South Annex, I guess everybody else is at the South Annex, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so we will be in recess until the South Annex comes back on with us. Okay, you have one additional case in courtroom 2, Ms. Jinks. Can we go ahead and do that one first so we can let courtroom 2 go?
Yes, Judge, who is it?
This is position 18 and 19, Destiny Yarborough.
Okay.
My understanding. Is that right, courtroom 2?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0002228B with criminal trespass, and in case 22 CR 0002229B with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
25 total. Last arrest was 3 days ago for hit and run, driving without a valid license and obstruction. That was out of Spalding County. Before that, 2018, driving without a valid license. 2017, same thing. 2013, shoplifting, NOD. 2011, giving false name. That was a failure to appear. 2011, probation violation. 2011, giving false name conviction. Theft by receiving, theft by deception. Convictions from 2010. 2010, giving false name conviction. I'm looking for the violence. I think he has one. Yeah, he don't have any violence.
Okay.
That I see. Yeah, he just got the open case from Spalding County the other day.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, this is, excuse me. Mina, I can't, I'm sorry. Okay. Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to incident location in City Suites at 845 North Central Avenue, Hapeville, Georgia, where they met with victim Cindy Marie Thurman, the other person living in the same household as defendant. Ms. Thurman stated that defendant punched and grabbed her. Officers observed a blackened right eye and numerous scratches and bruises to both arms and hands. So for the charge of battery family violence, the state's going to request a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from incident location, a one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Pre-trial has already stated that defendant has an extensive criminal history. He is a convicted felon with several convictions, majority of them being in theft and burglary. The state is concerned that defendant may be a flight risk. He has a fleeing conviction and 2 FTAs, 4 probation violations and 1 parole violations. So that's going to be the basis of our $3,000 surety bond request on the battery family violence.
What is the North Central Avenue address? Where is that?
The In City Suites. It's in Hapeville, Georgia.
Is that where they live, or were they just there for a certain amount of time?
It's not clear based on the facts that I have, Your Honor.
Okay.
I believe, Judge, it's the Subway where she works. That's my understanding.
Okay.
It's a Subway restaurant. This is an old arrest affidavit. I mean, old, it's from last year, Judge.
Right. Okay, thank you. And the trespass, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. So in the trespass case, officers responded to incident location 519 North Central Avenue, Hapeville, Georgia. That's the Subway restaurant. When officers arrived at Subway, when they arrived at Subway, they found defendant damaged a credit card reader by ripping out the wiring from the cash register during a domestic dispute. Damages did not exceed $500. In this case, the state's going to be requesting a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with victim, stay away from incident location, a one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So these are the same subways?
So Based on the incident report for the battery family violence, that was at the in-city suites. And then for the criminal trespass is at a Subway restaurant.
Okay, so, okay, I got it now. All right. Ms. Jenks?
Thank you, Judge. We're going to ask you to consider a signature bond through pretrial on this case. I believe pretrial said that Mr. Yarborough does not have any kind of violent criminal history. He is going to be living with his mom, Mrs. Roden, in Griffin, Georgia. I do have that address. He does work 2 jobs, Judge. The first one is the Essential Staffing Solutions, and he does maintenance work there. That's a company out of Sandy Springs. And he also works for Ideal Used Appliance here in Georgia. And the first job is full-time. The second job is part-time on the weekends. He and his girlfriend have been together for 6 years, Judge. My understanding is that there was some actual dispute related to her employer at the Subway, which was really the anchor to this alleged incident. So for those reasons, Judge, and there's no problem staying away from that location or both locations, and even a stay away or no further contact with Ms. Thurman, if that's what Your Honor is inclined to do. But we are asking you to consider a signature bond.
Anything further, Ms. Mitchell?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so for the criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from the Subway, located on North Central Avenue in Hayville. For the battery family violence, $4,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from in-city suites, also located on North Central Avenue, I believe in Hayville. No further contact with the alleged victim, Cindy Marie, is her last name Thornton?
Thurman,
Thurman.
Thurmond. My apologies. I should have
That's
spelled
right
it
now.
earlier.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, Mr. Yarborough, I'm gonna let you out, but you're gonna have to make sure that you come back to court for your next hearing. You understand?
Yes, sir. My mom will make sure I get here, Your Honor.
All right, very good.
I
You have
really
a good
appreciate
mom.
it.
Your
Thank you,
Honor,
Judge.
is the 1-day anger awareness course part of it or no?
No, it's not. I normally only order that when I send him through pretrial, and since he's going through the jail, it's not gonna be required. And he's to have no contact with Ms. Thurman.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. So thank you, courtroom 2.
Thank you,
guess
Judge. May we be dismissed?
Say it again.
May we be dismissed?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor, for staying.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go back to the South Annex and tell me what position this is again.
Do you want to do Ms. Perez with the interpreter, Judge?
Yes, that's her sitting there, right?
Yes, position
Okay.
13, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
Señora, vamos a continuar con su caso.
Good afternoon, Ms. Perez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're holding by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señora Pérez. Él es el juez, el juez Morrow, y estamos teniendo esta audiencia por esta plataforma virtual para tratar de prevenir la pandemia. ¿Usted está de acuerdo en que llevemos a cabo la sesión virtual?
She's on mute.
Tiene que encender el micrófono.
South An-
Sorry, Your Honor.
See,
That's all right, Officer Moulton. Thank you. Ms. Perez, you've been charged in case 22CR000221D with criminal trespass and damage to property and hindering a person making an emergency telephone call.
Bien, señora Pérez, usted está siendo acusada en la acusación número 22CR000221D con 3 acusaciones, una por allanamiento de morada, otra por destrucción de propiedad y la otra por impedir que alguien haga una llamada telefónica de emergencia. Okay.
Your history, Mr. Howard?
The first.
Es la primera vez.
Ms. Mitchell?
yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to incident location 9106 Collingwood spelled Collingwood Lane, Alpharetta, Georgia. And they met with the victim Florencio, spelled Florencio, Valadez Morales, spelled Valadez Morales.
Hold on, Ms. Mitchell.
Bien, este es un incidente que ocurrió en la dirección 9106 Hollywood Lane en la ciudad de Alpharetta, en donde la policía fue y se entrevistó con la víctima. El nombre de la víctima es Florencio Valdés Morales.
Mr. Valdez Morales is spouse to the defendant, and they're currently in the process of a divorce.
Entonces el señor Valdés Morales es casado con la acusada, pero en este momento ellos están pasando por un proceso de divorcio.
Mr. Valadez Morales stated that the defendant entered his apartment looking for his new girlfriend in every room.
Entonces el señor Valdés Morales dice que la acusada llegó a la casa y que empezó a buscar a la nueva novia de él por cada una de las habitaciones.
When defendant entered his bedroom, she threw his TV on the ground.
Y entonces cuando la acusada llegó a la habitación de él, agarró la televisión y la tiró al piso.
Mr. Valadez Morales stated that he was going to call 911, but defendant snatched his phone out of his hand and put it inside her back pocket.
Entonces el señor Valdés Morales dice que le iba a llamar al 911, pero que la acusada le agarró el teléfono de la mano y se lo puso en la parte de atrás del bolsillo.
Defendant admitted to officer to taking his phone.
La acusada le admitió al policía que ella le había agarrado el teléfono.
Being that this is the defendant's first arrest, the state's bond recommendation is going to be as to count one, $1,000 signature bond, and as to count two, $1,000 signature bond.
Bien, entonces dado de que esta es la primera vez que ella tiene problemas con la ley, la fiscalía va a recomendar que la fianza sea de $1,000, pero bajo palabra por la primera acusación y de $1,000 por la segunda acusación también bajo palabra.
Additionally, we are requesting no further contact with the victim.
Estamos pidiendo también adicionalmente que no tenga más contacto con la víctima.
A stay away from incident location.
No puede acercarse tampoco al lugar que ocurrió el incidente.
A one-day anger awareness course.
Y un día de la clase, una clase de control de ira.
And no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
Y que no pueda consumir alcohol, drogas ni poseer armas.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No tengo nada más que decir.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Jenks?
No, Judge.
No tengo ninguna objeción, dice su abogada.
And does she have someplace else to go, or does she need to go back to this Collingwood address for any reason?
She does not, Judge. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marcelo.
¿Ella tiene algún lugar para ir o vive en esta dirección? No, ella tiene un lugar para ir.
She does not, Judge. She has a place where she lives with her, their two children. They have a 6 and a 5-year-old. My understanding is that her soon-to-be ex-husband does not see the children. He apparently walked out on her months ago. And the only reason she was at the apartment was to pick up her vehicle. She maintains her innocence related to any kind of criminal trespass damage that's alleged in this police report, Judge. But she does have a stable place to live in Roswell. I believe the address is annotated on the jail screen. And she's there with another couple and her children. She does work, Judge, full-time for a house cleaning company. She has lived here in Atlanta for 10 years. She is a U.S. citizen. So we would ask that you go along with the recommendation of a signature bond.
Bien, ella tiene un lugar en donde ella vive. De hecho, ella vive allí con sus 2 hijos que tienen 6 y 5 años. El que ahora va a ser su ex esposo, él se fue de la casa hace muchos meses y el único motivo por el que ella estaba en ese departamento es porque iba a recoger un vehículo. Ella está manteniendo su inocencia en lo que tiene que ver con destrucción de la propiedad, pero ella tiene en este momento un lugar estable en donde vive, que es en la ciudad de Roswell, cuya dirección creo que está anotada allí en los documentos de la cárcel. Ella pues vive con una pareja y vive también con los niños, aparte de que ella trabaja a tiempo completo en una compañía de limpieza de casas y es también ciudadana de los Estados Unidos, por lo cual nosotros queremos pedirle que usted siga la recomendación.
Okay, so for each charge, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, making for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Collingwood Lane address. No further contact with Valdez Morales.
Bien, entonces vamos a aceptar la recomendación. Por la primera acusación, $1,000 bajo palabra. Por la segunda acusación, $1,000 bajo palabra, es decir, son $2,000, pero no tiene que pagar, solamente firmar y salir bajo palabra por medio de la cárcel. No puede acercarse a la dirección que está en Collingwood ni tampoco puede tener más contacto con el señor Valdés Morales.
Thank you, Judge.
You're
Gracias.
welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Perez.
Buena suerte, señora Pérez. And may the excuse, Your Honor. That was the only
Yes, have a
case.
good afternoon, Marcelo. Good
Thank
to see you.
Good to see you too. Bye.
Next, we have position 8, Ms. Mansfield. Señorita, excelencia, por favor. Gracias.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mansfield. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Mansfield, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000226A with driving under the influence of drugs, less safe, failure to keep a proper lane, and driving while your license is suspended or revoked. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got 11 total. Last arrest was back in November for hit and run. Hold on. Out of Brookhaven, it was hit and run, suspended license, suspended registration. On probation in California for hit and run damage to property. She got 3 DUI convictions, 2019, 2016, 2009. The last arrest in California was a DUI arrest, but that's separate from the other conviction. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday around the Holcomb Bridge Road exit. The exact address we have is the 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road, Your Honor. Roswell Police did respond to a call to assist another officer who witnessed a black Challenger pass multiple vehicles on the paved shoulder on 400 southbound around the Holcomb Bridge exit ramp. The second responding officer saw that the vehicle had heavy front end damage on the driver's side. And when the officer approached the vehicle, the defendant had a lot of dirt and mud on her clothing and as well as inside of her car, and a damaged headlight that was in plain view on the back seat. The driver did appear disoriented to the officer and could not communicate effectively as to where she was going or where she was coming from that would cause her to drive on that paved shoulder, Your Honor. The officers did conduct an investigation and determined that the defendant was involved in an accident in Johns Creek, and the Johns Creek police officers did come out and cite her for a hit and run. The defendant admitted to the responding officer that she took some Mucinex earlier in the day and that she shouldn't be driving. And when she was asked to get out the vehicle, the officer noted that she was unsteady on her feet as she was walking to the patrol car. She did refuse a field test and blood testing at the scene, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $4,000 surety for the DUI charge, $2,000 surety for driving while license suspended, $1,500 surety for failure to keep or failure to maintain a proper lane, Your Honor, for a total of $7,500 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and also a no driving condition as well, Your Honor. As pretrial has stated, the defendant is currently on probation in California for similar charges. She has an open case out of Brookhaven from November of 21, where she was arrested for similar charges with the hit and run and driving while license suspended or revoked and knowingly operating an unregistered vehicle. The defendant is not a licensed driver, Your Honor. And again, that previous history out of California for those previous DUI convictions, we are concerned for the safety of the community, Your Honor, as driving under the influence always poses a threat and risk not only to the defendant, but anyone who's on the roadways. And we are also concerned that she does not have a sufficient ties to the community as her history is largely based out of California.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Jenks?
Yes, Judge, we're asking you to consider a bond amount that is less than what the state is suggesting, Judge. Miss Mansfield has completed high school and some technical school. She actually has a certificate in respiratory therapy, although right now she is not working in that field. She's working at the Thompson Hotel and restaurant service work. She's doing that 40 hours a week. And she still does have that job. So she's living permanently in Atlanta, Judge, at the 592 Griffin Street address here in Atlanta, 30318. We're just asking you to consider a bond less than the amount the state has suggested.
Okay, for the DUI, a $3,000 good. For the failure to keep a proper lane, a $500 good. For the suspended license, a $500 good, making for a total of a $4,000 good bond. No driving while out on bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Mansfield.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 10, Ms. Moore.
Good afternoon, Ms. Moore. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000231F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Six total. Last arrest was 2009, possession of cocaine. She got conviction for possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, giving false name, criminal trespass. That's from 2008. 07 trespass arrest. 05 drug possession that was dead docket. And an ag assault armed robbery that was dismissed from 05. She has a bench warrant for possession of cocaine. She should go to court for that tomorrow, I'm assuming, because they didn't have bench warrant court today because it's a holiday. Case number 09SC 78396.
All right. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on January 15th. This is the cross defendant from earlier from Mr. Rowe's case, Ms. Felita Moore, again at that 1191 Oakland Lane, Apartment A, Atlanta, Georgia address. This arises out of a domestic dispute where the two defendants were fighting each other, Your Honor. Ms. Moore did leave scratches and bruising on Mr. Rowe, Your Honor, and that is the reason why the officer cited her with battery. The state is recommending a $3,000 surety, a stay away from the incident location, a no further contact with Antonio Rowe, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a one-day anger awareness, Your Honor. We are making this based on the fact that we do believe that she has a high risk of reoffending, as she does have that aggravated assault and that other conviction that out of DeKalb from 2005, arrest from DeKalb out of 2005 for armed robbery, but those were null pros, Your Honor. She does have a criminal trespass conviction from 2008, and as well, she did FTA on that cocaine charge out of our office, Your Honor, out of the Fulton County's office, Your Honor, and we do believe that she is a flight risk.
Mr. Kelbaugh?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Moore has very limited criminal history. She, of course, was not convicted of the armed robbery ag assault, and those cases were dismissed, even though that was 16 years ago. We're asking for a signature bond, Your Honor, and that she not be forced to stay away from 1191 Oakland Lane, because Mr. Rowe has already been ordered by Your Honor to stay away from that address. She does not have any issue asking for a no contact with a no contact from Mr. Rowe. In fact, I think she'll be pleased to hear that Mr. Rowe has been ordered to have no contact with her. She has a 5-year-old daughter, Your Honor. She works as a private certified nursing assistant and hopes to be released from jail as soon as possible so that she can return to work and caring for her 5-year-old daughter. Tellingly, the bench warrant for the cocaine is from failing to appear. I have looked honestly in the Odyssey, and I don't understand how that arose, but tellingly that was 12 years ago, at least 12 years ago, and she has not been arrested at any point since then for drugs or anything else. So we're asking for a signature bond and that she be allowed to return to 1191 Oakland Lane.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Rowe. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Moore.
Is that 1,500 apiece, Your Honor?
I only have one charge, a battery family violence charge. Is there another charge that I missed?
There's possession of cocaine on her
That's she's gonna be seen, I think, tomorrow for that charge. That's the felony, is my understanding.
Okay.
All right.
So it's 3,000.
Signature bond through the jail.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, have a still with it. Next, we have position 11. Jada Ningun. Gwen. Ningun. I can never get her name right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Gwen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000222G with battery family violence. Is there a history? I believe you've gone through it already, Mr. Howard, but if you'll go through it again for us.
This is for win, right?
Yes, position 11.
Third arrest. 2018 assault on a family member, dismissed. And a 2013 domestic battery out of Vegas. Disposition says denied.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. We have discussed the facts from the cross defendant in the Isom case. So if you would like me to go over, I can, or I can move ahead with the state's recommendation.
If you'll go over the facts again with me, please.
Yes, no problem, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened on January 15th, 2022 at the 6578 Beaver Creek Trail in Atlanta. The defendant stated that Mr. Isom and herself were having a dispute regarding an Airbnb that they run together. And they were on a drive to go and check on that Airbnb, but the defendant wanted to return home. So at some point, a dispute arose over her wanting to go back home. And Mr. Isom struck her in the head while she was too much pregnant, Your Honor. The defendant told Mr. Isom that he needed to exit the vehicle and she would have an Uber pick him up. However, he said that he did not believe she would get an Uber, so he did exit the vehicle, but also took the keys from that vehicle with him and his belongings. And as a result, the car was left in the middle of the roadway. The defendant had to follow Mr. Isom for however many minutes to try and get the keys back. But at that point, she just went ahead and called the police. However, Your Honor, Mr. Isom advised that the defendant was the aggressor and became hostile when she wanted to go home. And as a result, he states that the defendant struck him in the face, leaving minor abrasions. Mr. Isom admits that he did take the car keys. And again, because he thought that she would not return, or that she would not actually call an Uber for him to get home. Mr. Isom says that the defendant was grabbing at his arms and his hair and his belongings as he was walking away. When officers arrived on the scene, Mr. Isom showed them video footage of the incident. But what officers noted in the report was that on that video, they saw that at some point, Mr. Isom had a gun in his hand, which he said that he threw in the bushes later on. And they also saw that the defendant here in this case had a knife that she was holding inside of the vehicle. So because both parties had these conflicting stories, officers arrested both the defendant here and Mr. Isom, since they could not determine who the primary aggressor was. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the facts that she does have arrest. We do make note that they are not convictions, but her arrests were for domestic battery in 2013 out of Nevada and assault on a family member in 2018 out of Virginia. So we do believe that the defendant has a history and she will reoffend. So for these reasons, we are requesting a $3,500 surety bond for her on the count of battery family violence. We're also asking that there be no further contact with Mr. Barry Isom and a stay away from the 6578 Beaver Creek Trail in Atlanta.
Thank you. Mr. Calba?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a signature bond and that she be allowed to have no violent contact with Mr. Isom, which is what Your Honor ordered in Mr. Isom's case. He had received a $4,000 signature bond and no violent contact with Miss Wynn. Your Honor, she's 26 years old. She works she's a registered nurse. She works as a travel nurse and has done that since 2018, which is when she moved to Georgia. She has her own home where Mr. Isom resides with her, and she would like that to continue in Decula, Georgia. She has a 6-year-old son who is staying with her mother at this moment at the home in Decula. And she would just ask for a signature bond. And I would note that her history is remote in time and that she does not have any apparent convictions.
Okay, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Mr. Isom, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Wynn.
Next, we have position 15, Ms. Smith.
Hello there, how are we doing today?
We're doing fine, Ms. Smith. How are you doing?
Hanging in.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Smith, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000223Y with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First, what's the victim name in this case?
It's a criminal trespass case. I'm not sure, Ms. Mitchell.
Oh, okay. She does. Hold on. So she does have a TPO though on her file, and she's a resident of Delaware.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Ms. Mitchell?
In this case, officers arrived at incident location 470 Centennial Olympic Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, where they met with victim Chantel Jones, Chantel spelled SHANTEL, Jones common spelling. Miss Jones' brother is the father of defendant's child. So Miss Jones stated that the defendant refused to leave her apartment after getting a verbal criminal trespass warning from another APD officer the day before. Both instances, the defendant was at Miss Jones' front door trying to see her child. Being that this is a first arrest, there's a current $5,000 surety bond, but being that this is a first arrest, the state will request to reduce it to $3,000 signature bond, no further contact with victim Chantel Jones, stay away from the incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Jenks?
No, Judge. I mean, except for the fact that she is the biological mother of the 1-year-old child. And it is my understanding that this apartment does belong to her or the sister of the father of her child. So I would just ask that there be some allowance in terms of, her having access to her daughter. Other than that, no objection to a signature bond. We'd be requesting that as well.
So you want a third-party transfer would suffice, Ms. James?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And she does have someplace else to go, I take it?
Yes. One moment. I believe, is it Stone Mountain where you're going to be staying, ma'am?
5100 West Mountain.
Yes, that's correct. And Stone Mountain 30038, Judge.
Okay. So it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Jones. Stay away from the Centennial, I think that was Park address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And there'll be a third-party transfer of the child or the child. I don't see why Ms. Jones would even have to get involved in, or should get involved in that anyway. So, all right, good luck to you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have
you,
position
Judge.
17, Ms. Wright.
Is 16 still reset?
Which one?
Number 16.
Yes, medical reset until tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
And this is the one.
Position 17.
Okay, the cross defendant was number 12.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Wright. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Wright, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000224A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a 4th arrest. Last arrest was 2013, probation violation. Not prosecuted. Was a disposition. 2012 probation violation. All of that came off of first offender for forgery first degree from 2011. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. When officers responded to incident location, for the record again, 2741 Headland Drive, East Point, Georgia, they also met with Clement Page, the other defendant. Mr. Page stated to officers that during a verbal argument, he pushed the defendant back to defend himself. The defendant, Ms. Wright, admitted to striking and pushing Mr. Page. With that being said, the state's bond recommendation is going to be a $2,000 surety bond. No further contact with Clement Page. Third-party contact for their children. Stay away from the address once she finds another location to live at. A one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Calabon?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a signature bond. Her only prior is this 2011 forgery. I don't know if that it was discharged when she used her first offender on that or not. But she has two children, an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old. The cross defendant was granted an SOR and no contact in order to stay away from the Headland Drive address until Ms. Wright could find another place to live. So we're asking that she not be ordered to stay away from there. But then when she finds another place to live, that the cross defendant, Mr. Page's attorney, can petition the court to modify the bond at that time. She was in training at a call center, had a job as a training in a call center prior to this arrest, but she believes that she will have lost the job by the time she returns. But she just needs some time to get another job to save some money so that she can move to a different place. But we're asking for a signature bond and that she be allowed to return to the Headland Drive address. And she's fine with no contact.
Okay. So $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Mr. Page. As such, there will be third-party transfer or visitation with the children, one to another. I think that's what I ordered for Mr. Page also. No drugs, no alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Wright.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think that's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Officer Milton. We will see you tomorrow.
Most definitely.
All right, have a good evening.
All right, bye, everybody. Nice seeing you all again.
Okay, so when Ms. Middlebrooks is ready, we can go over the calendar.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Okay,
Position number 1 is a $5,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position number 2 has been reset, a medical reset for January 18th. Position number 3 is a $1,500 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 4 is a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 5 is a medical reset for January 18th. Position number 6 is a $4,000 sign-on bond through pretrial.
Number 4 was jail or pretrial?
I have down it was pre-trial.
I have
Yeah,
pretrial also, Judge.
Number
I
4
have
is
pretrial
pretrial.
too.
Position number 6 was a $4,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position number 7 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 8 is a $4,000 good bond, reset SAP, February 1st, 2022. Position number 9 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 10 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 11, a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 12 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position 13, a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 14 is a $3,000 good bond, reset SAP, February 1st. Position number 15, a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 16 is medical reset for January 18th. Position number 17 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position number 18 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail. And position number 19 is a $4,000 sign-on bond through the jail.
And Your Honor, I may have misheard, but my impression was that 11 and 13 were 3,000, not 2,000. But I may be incorrect.
11 and 13.
Correct.
I got 2,000 for 11.
And for 13?
Yeah, I got 2,000 for both.
Okay.
Yes,
And that was my error. I'll correct it on my end. Thank you.
thank you. Anything else?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, if not, you all have a good rest of the day.
Yes, you moved
You're
this in a
okay.
timely manner.
Thank you.
Y'all be safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Bye.
Bye.